and guy was outside of a high school in a trench coat. Hey everybody, are you sure you're in the right place? This is Julie Christmas and you're at the Two Promoters One Pod live show. Please welcome to the stage your hosts, Gav and James!
Fucking hell. So, I was going to ask people to come forward, but there's no space. Right, listen, we have been burnt, we have been broken, but if this man can still dress in double denim, we can give this the introduction it needs. So let's do this. 2,000 trees, we go! Again! Legends. How are you, sir?
I'm good. You okay?
Aye, I'm shitting that a wee bit, but I'll settle in. I'll settle in.
Yeah, it's been, oh man, I've had a really good time. I feel like it's it's been hot, right? It's hard not to mention the heat. So every person you see, every food trader you see, the people doing the water, everyone is mentioning the heat. But it's, I feel like it feels like a classic trees, like a good trees, like a really solid trees with some amazing sets, which we'll talk about later.
We should check. Some folk are here to see us as well. Yeah, it's not just the shade. I've went through a few times. Yeah, you're here to see us. Thank you. So, from my point of view, I've got I don't know where my family's hiding. But, yeah, and too many of them, believe me. But it's been next time just me and Kerry. But we brought down, I know you've been having a laugh. I nailed for a year his Tory reputation. He grew up in a Cambridge castle and he had privately educated and it was all going swell. And he said, one throwaway line, I've been to your house. My house is perfectly normal. And
he's got his own gym, right? There's a room which is a gym.
Except the gym bit, right? And then I get a wee motorhome and it's like the travelling mansion. So that's how the week started. I like to say because my wife gets passenger sickness or car sickness that I don't drive, but it's because I've got a drink problem. I don't drive. So she was doing the driving, and I tell you, this is why we are not allowed nice things in my family. We picked it up. It's the third hire the guy's ever had for his nice new 80 grand motorhome. And we were, the first day, we drove to Alton Towers. In the campsite, we asked Niall, my son, can you disconnect the water? I okayed that, done it, fine mate. And we drove away, and the woman across the tent across looked like we just ran over a field of school kids. You could just see the shock horror on their face, and then the crunk, like, we never disconnected the power. So we ripped the cord in half, and the poor bastard that's got the campsite, we ripped his power bit out. So we're like, okay, let's focus here. We're not driving a Fiat Panda. Went to Alton Towers, under a tree, and we left the roof hatch open for the bathroom. So there's branches down the toilet. Gets here a couple of hours later, and when we arrive, somebody starts filming us coming round. There's Gav arrived in the mansion, and she crashed the car into the fence post and then reversed it into barbed wire. So it has not moved since then. So it's so far so good. I hope that the guy, sorry Kerry, I hope that the guy who hired us that does not listen to the podcast. So that's how my week started. But since then it's been good.
It's been good. That was a proper entrance, wasn't it? Because everyone had finished for the day. We were all sat having a beer, and it's like that. I bet that's Gav in that massive motorhome, and there's just like smash into the gatepost. Yeah.
There's nothing quite like making somebody nervous by filming them come in and then crashing the van. So the sweat was pouring on our back. We ended up with some hero that drove the van in for us. Andy, well done, Andy. So, all right, they deserve a clap, fuck's sake.
Not that Andy, different Andy.
Different Andy. So that's how we started, and then since then, forget the heat. I mean, it's been hot, but it's been brilliant. I mean, hello, reader. What a weekend it's been. I've had an absolute thank you. I know you guys might think that James is the only organiser of trees because that's the way he talks. But there is another 5 of them that, strangely enough, have the exact same share in the festival. So you bump into these people who've got the exact same stake as James, and and he doesn't mention them. So thank you to all you guys for the hospitality for my family too.
It's not true that I don't mention them.
How's your weekend, sir?
Yeah, fucking amazing. I mean, I thought it would be good to, like, we talk about bands a lot, I'm sure, but it would be good to talk about, like, what happens when it's hot, right? Because basically events are like, when you're running a festival, you have wet weather, cold weather, hot weather, and it's always different, and stuff costs you money or you make money, and it kind of, like, varies. So I've got some stats for you. So last year at 2,000 Trees, we had 250,000 litres of water, and this year we have 500,000 litres of water, so double the amount of water has been used. And Neil and Tom, who are doing the water, get quite angry with people. I mean, there's going to be some of you in here that have done ridiculous things like this. I caught 2 traders just out the back here. They disconnected the water pipe. There was 3 of them in their pants and bikinis, and they were just fucking spraying each other with water like it was like some like American 1960s film. And Tom walked past a guy who he had his Doc Martens out under the water tap, and he was rinsing off the dust from his boots. And it makes water people very angry when you just fucking turn their taps on for no reason. So 500,000 litres of water. So I don't know. That's probably Neil's quotes are quite punchy normally. So that's gonna be some extra. There was a day, right? This week there was a day that in the UK there were no water tankers in the entire country available to go to events. Like every single one was full and already booked and going to an event. And but if you run out of water, you have to close, right? It's basically you cannot run out of water. And it's pretty it's not very fun if you're Neil, because he knows he holds the entire festival in his hands, but he's done it, mate. Well done. So that's like that costs money to do that, but the bars. So I always think with heat, this is my theory with no research, is that 24 degrees is about perfect drinking weather, and that's when you'll sell the most beer. But that might be rubbish, because the bars are like 30% up on last year, this year. So everyone has drank a lot. So
well done, pissheads.
Thanks for doing that. That is nice. The merch, the hoodies, not so much.
We'll get on to that now. But hopefully at the end when we beg you to go, because I'm doing this for free. This is the only show I do for free. And we'll get a merch tent down there. But what do we have? Thick jogging bottoms and long sleeves. So I'm not expecting to see great merch sales for this at all.
Yeah, so what else on merch? So the football tops went amazing because it's sunny. So it's a weird thing. Like every time the weather changes, what you sell changes. If you're the general store, one day you're selling watermelons, the next day it's like wellies. First aid. So last year, the stats are that on the Wednesday last year, there were 16 people had heat stroke, and this year it was 54 people. And which is pretty impressive to get heat stroke on day one of a festival that you can't get in until midday. It's like, I'm getting fucking heat stroke. Come on.
Well, I bumped into Brendan, who's one of those 6 organisers and owners, and he'd said about the IV bags had already matched the number for the year before. They start to get a bit dicey as well, because I don't think you'd been fully informed. And I don't know why I was informed before you.
I'm not fully informed. Fuck you. I fucking know everything.
Do you know the logistics channel that you're not involved on, right? It seemed like the other organisers were trying to get the water to come here, and like, just don't tell James, it'll stress of it. So
yeah, we cleared out the IV fluid from the local, whatever the local wholesaler of that is. It was completely gone because we had it all here. So it's been pretty. That is another thing that could stop your event if you don't get it right.
And it's bizarre because you got last year and you're sitting having a panic attack trying to get all the trackway in. Companies rinsing you, I'll add an extra $5,000, add an extra $10,000 in to get the trackway. And because it was a mess backstage, but we kind of got lucky front of house last year. And then you come here and the whole backstage is trackway. I mean, God knows how much they spent in it, and it's completely useless. I mean, the ground is solid, and what they needed was extra water. So with the weather, it's just...
There's like a motorway back there, isn't there? It's like we've got a whole new one-way system that we didn't need. It's like, I don't know, well over £10,000 of trackway that is totally pointless. So yeah.
And it's been a year since we were back. This is the first show we've kind of done twice. So marginally more popular when and their faces are known a bit more. So it's been a bit of a wild weekend. Absolutely love all the introductions, everyone saying hello. We're doing a wee bit of a point scoring thing on who's getting his drinks. I'm winning 7-5. And also, I wasn't going to say this until I just remembered it, but someone did walk past James and say, I'd like to meet the legend of the podcast. So, which hurt his feelings more than it should have.
No, that guy in the forest on Wednesday, it's like, he said to you, he was basically telling you you're the fucking best thing ever. And then he looked at me and he's like, yeah, you're all right. And he wasn't, it was not a joke. It wasn't a joke. It was not a joke. He was just like, yeah, okay, yeah. Glad you're here.
I know. Last night, so we're kind of getting used to it, because you're famous for, at Damnation, you're famous for one day a year in an industrial estate in Manchester, and then you come to this, and then you go back to real life where I'm not even famous in my own house. And so my two daughters, Charlotte and Cadence, come out to the silent disco last night, and we're sitting down in the hay bales, and for whatever reason, the topic went from kneecap to Bob Villain, and then this woman starts intensely telling me, oh, by the way, that whole situation is not what you think. There's a podcast that talked to the organizer, and I'm like, I'm expecting Jeremy Beadle to jump up. I'm like, and I was like, and I let her go. She goes, and what happened is they were told to shut it down, and that's two promoters, and I'm going, I'm the promoter, right? But she was so engrossed in her story that she never even recognised that I was telling her that I was the guy that was like, she's listening to. And then my daughter was, that's Gav! And she just squealed, stopped, and then we never got to the end of the sentence. Which made it more embarrassing because my youngest daughter was shouting, Daddy's famous! Daddy's famous! And the silent disco, it was, I was tense for sort of my arsehole to my mouth. I was cringing, but it's been a wild one. There's been a lot of that, which is fun, but still weird, because it only happens a couple of times a year.
Yeah. So I really don't want to lose. We are genuinely having a competition, so if anyone wants to buy me a drink later, it'll be better. I want to beat Gav. Come on. Talk to me about Kneecap. We are the Kneecap podcast.
You talked to us about Kneecap. Was all the effort worth it? Was all the effort worth it for you? You were the guys that get put through the shit.
Yeah. It was weird building up. It's been such a long saga, and I was standing with my wife in the crowd, and just as they came on, my heart rate just like went through the roof, and it was like I wasn't really expecting it, and it was quite intense. I don't know what I was worried about, or it was just like the whole thing's been such a big build-up. But then once I got into it, I feel like it was. So I can 100% tell you it's the biggest crowd we've ever had at Trees, definitely. I've stood on the stage for most headliners we've ever had and looked out, and the distance it went back, biggest crowd ever. I thought, for anyone who's seen the Glastonbury coverage, I thought that Trees was miles better. And they've really got it. Considering they're kind of a new band, and they've really they have it. They've got it. They know how to do a headline set. It was fucking great. And the weird thing is that they are really nice. So bands mostly, if you're a big band, they don't really want to talk to you. They don't want to have photos with fans or organisers of festivals. It's annoying to them. They don't care who you are. Mostly bands don't care who I am, and that was absolutely fine. But Kneecap are not like that at all. They're the nicest people. I introduced my wife to them, and he was like, "What's your name?" He wants to know her name, and they want to look you in the eye and ask you about a nice time. And when there was this amazing moment when they're on stage. So Brendan, one of the organisers, and his wife Tamsin were on stage with their son Wilf, who's 9, right? Kneecap. They saw Wilf there. They saw Wilf was loving it, and the guy with the balaclava on, he came over with a set list for Wilf mid-set, gave it to Wilf, gave him a high five, fist bump, and then about 10 minutes later he came back to Wilf. He took him up onto the DJ booth, and he taught him how to trigger the next song. And basically, Wilf, I don't know if we'll say it, but he probably doesn't yet realise how cool that was. Wilf got to trigger.
On Wilf!
Here's Wilf. Yes, dude. Well done, mate. So Wilf got to trigger the next Kneecap song from the DJ. It was so cool. And that, I just think that they're so warm people, really nice, and and they know how to do it.
And you never got to party with them though, because you had to fuck off to somewhere else the next day. That's the real dream, is when you get invited to party with Kneecap. So everyone's trying to take claim for where Kneecap were on the bill, and you seem to be getting it despite the fact it wasn't yours to claim. So, because if any people have been listening to the podcast, I suggest, like they've been booked a couple of times, but I suggested could they do like a main stage slot, and your reaction to it was, like, let's not get too carried away how far up they could be. And then they were booked, next thing you know, it was the headliner, and then you're saying Miles is taking credit, or the organiser taking credit. So how did it come about in your eyes? I know you like to tell other people's stories, but how did it come about for your eyes?
I mean, you're rewriting history right here, aren't you? So, but there are a few people, Gav and Miles in particular, that want to claim credit. And actually, to be fair, Ed Sellers, the booking agent, it was his idea. Miles was like, you should definitely do it. Gav had already been banging on about me doing it. And the thing about booking is, it's hard to make the decision. You don't know what's the right thing to do. And then none of the stuff that's happened with Kneecap recently was, we didn't know any of that was going to happen, but we knew the film was coming. We knew the film was going to get massively nominated for loads of different film awards, and they were on the up, and people already liked them here. So, I mean, if you're sitting there thinking, is he about to end this sentence by giving you credit for the Kneecap booking? It's not ending like that. But yeah, let's call it a collaborative effort, I think.
And so Kneecap, right, as they are here now, too big now for trees, do you believe? Are they still on that, just on the edge?
Maybe, you never know. So I have I have conversations all the time, like when Empire State Bastard were here, I was chatting in the bar to Biffy Clyro's manager, and this weekend I was chatting to Enter Shikari's manager, or agent and label actually. And so you never really know. Some bands, they are slightly too big, but they are up for it, or they're slightly too big and they're not up for it. So I would have Kneecap back in 5 years' time, but who knows where they're going? I mean, they're on the rocket to the moon at the moment, aren't they?
You talk about the naivety of some folk. My daughter said, will they come back for a favour to James? Because you stood by them. No, Katie, it does not work like that.
Do you know who's the ultimate legend and doesn't get shouted out enough, who does do favour slots? Frank Turner. So, look, I mean, what a fucking legend. We paid Million Dead really, really well for this weekend, but he was not paid for his solo set yesterday, and it was fucking one of my highlights of the weekend. It was amazing. And, he gets a lot of shit, but he's a legend, basically. If you're a 2000 Trees person, he only ever says nice things about the festival.
Yeah, and to be fair, I caught both sets, one just dying underneath. This is me dying, by the way. It's not like this is the hottest thing ever. He said 24 degrees or something. I said to someone last night, 10 degrees in Scotland is barbecue weather, 20 degrees is filled with hospitals. So this is hellish. And actually, because it's a fancy dress day today, and I was going to dress as a danger to children, and I was going to have my... I'd bought my hiking boots on, jeans. I was going to borrow one, and I had the hat, and I even brought the boss top. But I was literally, it wasn't worth the joke to sit up here. And
mate, fucking either do the joke or don't do it. You can't just tell people. I was thinking about doing something really funny, but I didn't do it.
I'll tell jokes instead. So, other things that James doesn't do at his festivals. Would you know about pigs? Not the band. No, so what happened is someone else involved in this festival came up and said, listen, I don't want this to come from me, but I don't think James knows about the pigs. And I said, hey, okay, what else does he know about? And he said, the swans, or what was the other thing? Oh, you got the last one. So swans and pigs, tell me about them.
So the guys, for anyone who listens to the podcast, I gave some of the production team quite a lot of shit last week for walking around doing nothing with like power tools. So they did do something on... I think it was Wednesday or maybe Thursday here, because some local pigs, there's no pigs on this farm, so 5 pigs got into the VIP campsite. And as you can probably imagine, catching pigs amongst a sea of tents is quite challenging. And if you're not a pig farmer, or most of them are not farmers, how would one catch 5 pigs? And there's like a little bit of like carrot, but also Ollie was basically straddling a pig, and like... I think Ollie had a pig in a headlock while he was on top of it, and some people in the campsite started having a go at him about animal rights, so it all got a bit... He's doing his best. He's just trying to get the pig out of the campsite. And like, it's hard to be gentle with a pig, because... So... You can clip that next week.
The next merch, hard to be gentle with a pig. You're cool with sheep though, eh? You're cool with sheep.
Sure. So the swans, so Rich, who lives here and farms the land, he thinks that the Swans thought that the blue tents in the VIP campsite were a lake because they live on the lake. Anyone who's been backstage will see there's a lake out here. But the Swans basically landed on a tent in the VIP campsite, which is harder than a pig, it turns out, because swans are scary. So they're on the phone to like the RSPB, and the advice is you have to stay with the swans and watch them, but you're not allowed to touch them. So Ollie and Rich just walking around the VIP campsite, just like watching this swan, and it's like an hour goes by, and it's like nothing's happened, and you ring the RSPB and they're like, it will take off eventually. Just leave it, it'll take off. But it's in the sea of tents, so it can't take off because it needs like a. So yeah, I think the swans are gone now, but yeah, it's you never really know. Those guys doing that job, so they're on Channel 2 here. If ever I go to Channel 2, it's horrible because it's always like the fence is blown over the track when he's moving. There's pigs in the field. There's basically so they do anything. Like, no one ever thinks, is that their job? They just go, it's their job.
But apparently, it was the best channel ever. Yesterday, you could just hear the pigs squealing. Anyway, he's going, Ollie, it's from the back. Two pigs to the left. So, I would have quite liked that channel yesterday, to be fair. So, are we broaching the VIP parking situation? Will we bring the tone down a bit?
Yeah.
Rob is here.
Is Rob here? Yeah.
No.
I meant to talk to you about this before I said it on stage to check what I should say. I haven't read our statement, so I don't know what we said. But basically, I think the beauty of this podcast is that we can tell the truth and look behind the scenes. And basically, me and Rob had a conversation, and some of the other organisers are involved, months and months and months ago, about moving the VIP parking so that they could have lots more campsite, and it would be a slightly longer walk. And it was quite a spiky conversation about whether or not we should do it, and I actually wasn't in favour of doing it. And the decision was we would explain to people why we were doing it, and it was the right thing to do, and we would give a good message to people, which was the truth, and they would know about it. And then like 2 days before the festival started, like there was like stewards and crew start to arrive, and someone realised that hang on, this doesn't look right. And then we were like, fuck, did we ever explain it to people? And it's like, so it kind of fell down a crack between two organisers, and we didn't tell anyone. So that was like, because we're like humans, right? With lots of to-do lists, and sometimes the jobs fall off the to-do list. It is Rob's fault, by the way. But sometimes the jobs just fall off the to-do list and you don't tell people. So anyone in VIP, we were intending to communicate it way better than we did. And I guess your feedback to us after the festival about whether or not you like more camping space or closer parking, but we weren't trying to be fucking Download or Outbreak who don't tell you anything.
I guess no way there. Well, or buy me a drink and I can win that game, and that'll be that done. So this weekend there has been countless great bands. How's it panned out for you?
Yeah, really good. I thought Wednesday was one of the best days ever at Trees. Like Wednesday was insane. So I watched every single band on Wednesday, 100% of the bands. I thought Unpeople's cover set was brilliant. My favourite moment of the festival so far is probably Unpeople playing Hashpipe by Weezer. It's fucking great. Blood Command and Vower were wildly just incredible. There's something about the atmosphere on Wednesday, I think, because we weren't all broken by the sun at that point and we were in the shade of the trees. But it felt like you could like cut the atmosphere. It was just so good. So yeah, Wednesday was amazing. And
Meryl Streep.
Yeah. So
who was here? Who was here? But I was not expecting to do any of that. And then the picture.
Fuck off! Come on.
Then the picture. I always get done with a picture. I mean, I know I'm no much of a picture, but if you AI me, I always end up like his fat, bald friend. And then if you took a picture, I looked like I was, I don't know, dancing or doing some discotheque by myself in the middle of an empty space. So I came in and I said to Cadence, I says, let's go Meryl. She's a big Meryl Streep fan. Let's go in and then it kind of kicked off a wee bit. And I was like, oh, this is getting lively. Next thing I know, I'm in the pit. And then it's like a couple of more people recognise you, like, let's get this idiot up. And then it's like, Gav, can I put you up? I'm like, that sounds fucking great. So then I'm crowd surfing, and then my daughter's on my shoulders, and I'm like, you're crowd surfing, kid? She goes, no, I don't want to. And I said, no, it wasn't a question. And it's, then Cadence is away over crowd surfing. It was just, I had a nice white, brand new Damnation t-shirt on that was in the bin, because I got hit with it was a horrible experience.
You were purple, like purple cider. Because I was stood at the side, and it's like the Gav went up, and everyone, it was like the biggest cheer of the night. It was like Gav crowd surfing.
I couldn't hear anything because my head was jammed between two people's shoulders. But I get told it was a big cheer.
But the weird thing about running events is that every so often you go from having fun to being right. I kind of saw this problem coming, which was started by Gav. So there was genuinely started by Gav. There was a stage crowd barrier in here, right? A pit barrier, and it was between me and that pole. And I was watching it from there, and I could see the security were not enjoying themselves. They didn't have any room to catch people. And I was just standing there thinking, this is not going to be good. He's the first one, but then they were all coming over. So when Meryl Street finished, I just hung around, and I just knew what was coming. And then the head of security just appeared, and I was like, "You all right?" And he's like, "We're going to have to move that pit barrier." So in the gap between the bands, I've gone from having fun to being like radioing Channel 2 and saying the pit barrier has to be taken apart and move the other side of that pole. And so Ollie's like, so I radio Ollie a lot, and we're very good friends. So he doesn't go quickly when I ask him to do something. But it was like, I said to the guy who owns the pit barrier, Daryl, how long is it going to take? And he's like 40 minutes. I'm like, well, we've got 35, so we need to be quick. I'm like, Ollie, are you coming? And he's like, yeah. And I'm like, mate. I basically was like, come now. And the three of them, the power tool guys, they ambled in with a pizza each. like they've got all the time in the world. They're halfway through their pizza, just taking their time. But anyway, it got moved, and it was. I
think with James, long-winded way of saying I help save lives. Okay. Meryl Street was absolutely fantastic. The Wednesday was it's such a nice day because it's. Did I find my phone? No, that's still lost for the last festival. That was great.
You definitely lost your phone during Meryl Street.
No, I gave it to a stranger. And then I thought to myself, what the fuck did I do that for? Like, Cadence was right there. I could have given it to my own daughter. And I was like, here, mate, I'm Gav for the pod. I'm just going to take my top off and jump over this fence. I never said I wasn't stupid.
So back to bands, right? So yeah, Wednesday was definitely my favourite day, but and obviously Thursday was about Kneecap. I thought Unpeople is like it's 100% a future 2000 Trees headliner. The crowd they pulled it. They got one EP. The crowd they pulled in the Cave last year was mad. The crowd they pulled on the main stage this year was bigger than most of the bands the whole weekend. Everyone's singing the words, even to the songs that they're playing that were new. So that Thursday was. That basically Kneecap and Unpeople just ruled it for me. There was a couple of. It's very rarely that I watch bands at either Trees or ATG where I can feel like a fan and just relax and just not move. And I watched Frank Turner sat next to like the people I used to listen to Frank Turner with in 2007, like Brendan and Tamsin and some other people. Like we used to be really into Love Iron Song around the like.
Can you tell them now how that's at hand?
Well, I suppose we're going to, aren't we? have we talked about this? We haven't talked about this.
Controversial. You just said wait till the dates come out and then I can tell the masses.
Right. Fucking hell. Okay. So basically, what happened is I'm going to get in trouble here. So basically,
don't if you don't.
No, it's fine. So we're in now. I booked Millie and Ted. So I booked Millie and Ted, and it was an exclusive UK show, the only show. They were going to do the warm-up that they did, but it's the only show. And then the agent, I knew they were going to do a tour, but the way it works, the back sort of door thing is that no one knows there's a tour coming because you want them to come to the festival. You're paying a lot of money. No one knows there's a tour coming. I knew there was a tour coming. And then the agent emailed me saying, we want to announce the tour. And I was like, mate, you did this to me last year with Frank Turner, and I didn't kick off. But I'm like, we're paying a lot of money. You can't announce the tour. Unless we can have a conversation about like something else. And he's like, what do you want? I'm like, well, can Frank play in the Forest? And he's like, what album do you want? I'm like, that is the greatest question anyone has ever asked me. Like, if you really like an artist and they're just like, you can just choose the album. I'm like, fuck yeah.
I mean, that is genuinely about getting into numbers. I mean, that's tens of thousands if you're just trying to get that by itself.
Yeah, absolutely. And it was probably my favourite thing of all the whole weekend. And yeah, we sat right at the front on the pit barrier. We're lucky that we can do that. And my brain went from like organizer brain to my like 25-year-old brain, and I was singing every word and like pumping my fist and just loving it. It's very hard to get out of your head, but he was great. So yeah,
I was also there. I was cuddling a bin for some sort of cold, like comfort. Try to get the flap to give me some. I mean, I ended up seeing or listening to every band in there yesterday. Frank Turner, Imogen and the Knife, Julia Wolf, all of them fantastic. But from the floor, crying to my wife, "Can we please go home?" And my wife saying, "Yes, absolutely, let's go right now." So, it was a great day, loved it. The band's the main stage for me. I mean, Taking Back Sunday are not really my type of band, but it seemed to people enjoyed them. So,
he hates them, don't you?
All right,
why did you even bring it up?
Well, let's be positive.
Coheed and Cambria. Look, so
Coheed and Cambria.
They're like the least cool band of all time, and I don't care. I fucking love them. I think they're amazing. And they were great. The Forest set was so cool. Just watching them play acoustically. But they got that song, again, getting out of my organiser head, there's that song, In Keeping Secrets of Silent Earth. It's that Manuel and Jack Hammer song, for anyone that knows them. And when that came on, I was just the most happy person in the world. I thought they were really, really amazing.
Says a lot about this podcast. We've been doing this now for about a year and a half. And it's still a shit show behind the scenes, to be honest. Two things that we majorly screwed up this week is I was supposed to bring the plan with the questions that I'd sorted in my house and then never brought it with me. I never saved it anybody to get it. And then we put two shows on sale while we're here with no Wi-Fi. And people are coming up and saying, "Can I get a ticket for the Brighton show?" And I'm like, "The Brighton show's been announced." So it's been a wee bit chaotic. So firstly, there's the Christmas show. A show of hands, anybody's already come to the Christmas show? That's going to be the big one. We are doing the show, and then we're going to have the after party to 3 a.m. Beforehand, James he likes to party properly, so he wanted 2 shows beforehand. I said...
My wife's here, mate.
So's mine, so that's why... Somebody has to get the blame. So... we're doing Brighton and Cardiff the 2 nights before, so if you're from that neck of the woods and want to come out and see the Christmas, would be class. So that's the first thing we should have got sorted before we came here. And secondly, the questions that I've had to go to the barn and handwrite after searching through them again. So we've got a couple of... Is Kevin Thompson here? Just as well, because I wasn't answering it otherwise. So has the negative reaction to Radar booking Bob Villan changed our views on booking politically outspoken artists in future?
No, not at all.
What set the table a wee bit for? What set the table a wee bit for people who might not know what the situation was?
Yes. Okay. So if you don't know, so obviously the whole kneecap thing happened, saying we probably don't say what they said. Kneecap at Coachella happened, and then Bob Villan said, "Oh, we have to say it on it." So they said "Death to the IDF" on stage at Glastonbury. It was a big thing. It went pretty wild, and it hasn't changed. I feel like we had a lot of chats about Kneecap behind the scenes, and it didn't seem like there was ever a reason to not have Kneecap at 2,000 Trees. It felt like they should be at 2,000 Trees, and their message is 99.999% a brilliant message that they should be doing. So it hasn't changed my views. I mean, me and Bob Villan are in a bit of a funny place now where I feel like I need to work out. I was so busy last week. I don't really know the full picture of what happened with Bob Villan and Radar. I haven't listened to the interview that you did with Catherine.
Thanks.
So because I'm setting up a festival, right? So absolutely not. I would 100% book the bands that are saying the right things, and you know. We do a lot of due diligence about our bookings to make sure that you haven't booked Marilyn Manson accidentally or Disturbed. But no, nothing's changing. What about you?
You know, it's not so much because you're booking Napalm Death are headlining Damnation this year, and they're politically motivated and as left as you can be. So not in that context, although I do feel when back in 2019 we booked a band that a lot of people felt were racist. And what I found uncomfortable about it is, like, see the bands that their platform is we're anti-racist, they are the ones that get targeted to say, you better pull out, you better pull out. But it's not like OPEF are sitting there saying, oh, well, we're racist. So OPEF get a pass, and they get to come and play the show, and no one's giving them any grief. But the other bands that have been politically outspoken about whatever their views are the ones that get chased. And that's my issue with it. It's like, it starts to become a problem for them because shit happens behind the scenes that they're getting pulled for your festival when you can do nothing about it, because everyone's got the same sort of views in our circles, and then it's the ones that are outspoken about it, the ones that are getting targeted. But yet the ones that are saying nothing, who should be getting targeted, what's your views on it, then they get the pass.
Yeah, I mean, for me, the scary thing is when, obviously, that thing happened at Download last year with Barclays, and loads of the hardcore bands pulled out, and then you had Radar this year with bands pulling out, and sometimes the reason bands are pulling out is good, strong one, and sometimes it is ridiculous. And the scary thing is, some bands will throw you under the bus, even if you're a nice, cuddly festival like we are. And that's kind of like, that's a bit terrifying, because they don't actually care about the festival, they care about their political message. So I'm scared about that, but it's not, we're not going to change. We're going to book who we book, I think, so, yeah.
Okay. Christopher Kelly. Are you here, Christopher Kelly? Oh, fuck, there you go. No, you're definitely getting yours answered then. Kneecap, it's a bit shorthand because yours went on for ages. Kneecap, again, it was a booking master stroke. Let's just say you were involved in it somehow. And he wants to know for his headliners the next 3 to 5 years if you would do it again. Like, not Kneecap, but another one that you pick out that become as big as they are.
I mean, I really hope people can kick on from here. Creeper. Dinosaur Pileup. I feel like there's a bunch of British bands that are kind of just like waiting. You just want them to like, they've got to sell more records and sell more tickets. And, you know, to be a headliner here, you've got to be able to sell out Brixton Academy or whatever, like 5,000 people at least. And so that's the challenge, but those are my three. I mean, I love it when bands just come up and up and up and up and up and then eventually headline. And actually, we did it with Kneecap. We did it with Turnstile. We did it with Idols. Nothing But Thieves. Slave/soft play. You know, it's happened a lot. So, Unpeople is the one. But, Creeper. Imagine a Creeper headline show at Trees. That'd be amazing.
I always look at this scene with total jealousy because that doesn't really happen a lot in the extreme metal scene. It's just the same bands for 20, 25 years ago. But all we need to do to be able to headline Damnation is have a drummer. So there's a few bands that will probably manage it. There's Green Lung who will be playing Art Tangent. They're a band that seem to be doing massive ticket sales everywhere they go. And Blood Incantation are a more extreme version of that, death metal. But again, there's new bands at least coming through and doing decent sales. I'd like to see Baroness at some point, maybe headlining Damnation, but it's a conversation for another day because it's a fucking nightmare. But I would imagine between Green Lung or Blood Incantation would be a possible Damnation headliner. Nathan Rudge. All right, don't get too excited, mate. Just sit down. 4 acts are playing Art Tangent and Trees this year. When you book them, how does that work? Do you get a double discount? Do you plan it at the same time? Or do you just, is it separate and the church and state, the discussions don't are?
Yeah, there's not really a discount. So who is it? It's Coil Guns, McCluskey, Future the Left, and Meryl Streep, yeah. So a lot of those bookings didn't happen at the same time. Meryl Streep definitely didn't happen at the same time. When Falco, who's in Future Left and McCluskey, when he was kind of like, he said to me, we can do both bands. I was just, because I really, really love McCluskey, but I absolutely love Future Left. They're playing today. Everyone should watch Future Left. They're amazing. Like one of the best bands from the UK ever. And when he said they were free, I was just like, I don't know when they're going to do it again. They might not do it again, so let's just book them for both. And Coil Guns, they're so good. I think that album is so good that it just, when bands fit both, I don't mind booking them in the same year. So there's no discount. There's not. I think actually, Hayden's gone home, hasn't he?
He's gone home.
Will he listen to this? Okay, so Hayden, who is our booking agent, but also a massive hard ass to deal with over bands, was really pushing me hard on Coil Guns fees. And I was, at that point, I was like, okay, if we do Trees as well, can we make this a bit more sensible amount of money? So sometimes you can chuck 2 festivals in to get a better deal.
Aye.
I think. Yeah.
And if you do listen to this, Hayden, thanks for hanging around at the festival to see your biggest clients. I appreciate that. So, hi. So, anyone, let's get a few questions from the crowd and then get me off this stage before I sweat into this chair. Oh.
Getting in the pit.
Voice for the distance. Another 10 minutes.
Before my question, for anyone here on Wednesday that saw the rope lights kept tripping out on Wednesday night, I can only assume that Channel 2 was full of chat. Gav's put the toasty maker on in the van.
Boo! Can't jump.
It felt like we were watching a bit of Trees history last night with Million Dead. It was absolutely fantastic. In another universe, if they hadn't split up and you had managed to book them for the first Trees, how different would it have been? Would they have been the same place in the lineup? How would it have been different set?
I mean, I don't know if they'd be here 20 years later if they'd already done it. It feels like a thing that was meant to be. Like the reason Frank Turner headlined the first Trees is because I tried to get Million Deads to headline the first Trees. He's their singer. They'd split up, and he offered to do a solo set. But yeah, I don't know if they'd be here. I mean, it's mad. Like Frank said something from the stage about how they were never going to play together, and 2000 Trees was the reason they did it. And that is a pretty bonkers thing to have the power of like being able to do that. Like it's like you can go to one of your favorite ever bands and be like, would you like to get back together after 20 years? Yes, we would. It's like, and like obviously, Ruben, Ocean Size, we're not done yet. I mean, like, I don't know. They're hard. Ruben and Ocean Size is hard because they basically don't want to do it. But I think they might maybe.
How good were Million Dead? I mean, I don't know the hits for Million Dead, but I absolutely loved that set. Next, did you have a question also? Nice T-shirt.
Oh, thank you. Just also quickly, as someone who spent last weekend at Radar Festival, just want to shout out Radar Festival overall for a fucking
They're
fantastic
here.
weekend.
Give them a clap.
Like, really fantastic weekend in like a weekend where they had to deal with a bunch of shit that was way beyond what they should have dealt with as a festival. Had a fantastic time. They were really, really fucking good. Zealand Arda, obviously related to Effigy. They were the highlight for me. Zealand Arda were incredible. So yeah, my question is around. Obviously, it's a fucking hot one today. It's been really hot this weekend, and
This is the worst thing I've ever done.
I'll keep delaying this just so you can keep melting. So in terms of that, and obviously each summer just seems to get hotter and hotter and hotter, and we're having more extreme weather events around the globe. How much can you prepare against that as like an outdoor festival? Like, are there any plans you've got for that in terms of like having more future hot days? And sorry, just a slight bolt-on question. I'm from Cardiff. Where the fuck is the show? I've not seen it. Like,
we don't know.
I've
Which
no
venue
idea.
is it in?
Ask Miles. I'm sure he's not
Miles
here. He listens to me enough. But
We'll post it. It sold 9 tickets yesterday and no one knew it was there, so we'll probably do quite well.
it's nearly sold out, so get your tickets. So I've forgotten the first question now.
No, it was.
Oh yeah. Look, I mean, you can't. It's pretty hard to see into the future, right? I mean, you're talking about climate change and like summer's being hotter. I mean, I don't know. Get Neil working a bit harder. Get the water tanks booked earlier. But really, what everyone want, I don't know what you want. People want more shade. They want more cold water. Yeah.
I'll tell you a festival with a lot of shade.
Right. Look, okay, here, the economics of it is that you can have more showers and more shade and more water, but somebody has to pay for it, right? And it's a massive challenge running a festival. There's so many festivals have gone bust this summer, and the costs are wild. Anyone who's listened to podcasts will have heard about this before. The costs are insane, and you have to draw the line somewhere. And I get that I like to have a shower every day. I'm sure most people in this tent want to have a shower every day. So, yeah, you want more showers, you want more shade. Shade at a festival is fucking like, what? I mean, how are you doing more shade? Tell me. What do you want? Just an empty tent? You want an empty tent?
Right, all right, it's not a public hate forum. Boo, James!
Everyone always moans at festivals when it's hot. Like, download, you fuck, you can't believe you didn't give us shade. It's like, well, there's no shade.
Right, all right. There's no shade. Right, and we've got, I don't know, a couple of minutes left, so we've got time for one good question or two shite ones. Right, on you go, Alan. Give this guy a clap. Come on, you fuck.
Alan, what time do we finish?
Ignore me.
Right, I'll do what I did at London.
Wait a minute. It's Let Live Lady again.
Fuck's sake.
I
Did
can do
you
two
leak
shots.
Let
It's the
Live?
Let Live Lady.
Hello. I would like to help you to leak something else. I would like you to expand on the rumours that all three members of Reuben have been seen in the same place this weekend. What you got to say about the secret set later, James?
Mate, she's good.
And the second part of my question is it true that you have to wear the double denim because you've got tan lines at your elbows?
Fucking hell. Which question am I answering? The first one, yeah?
Just before we get, he almost broke yesterday. He was dripping.
No, look. Fucking hell.
I'm
For
ready to
fuck's
take
sake.
it off. I'm ready to take it off.
This is not where I wanted my life to end, okay? But I have had a lot of really annoying people, including my mum and Frank Turner and everyone else asking me if I'm hot all weekend. But once I'd been stubborn for about an hour, then I felt like I was going for 4 days of stubborn, basically. So you can keep asking me, but I am not changing. And it's nothing to do with tan lines. Are Reuben all here? Yeah, the rumours are true. They're playing at Camp Reuben at... They're not really.
Are you deciding that like some public safety hit now? Is this working?
No, I don't know I don't know any of them are here. I don't know. You make the Reuben reunion. So Hannah doesn't only leak Let Live, she also used to run Camp Reuben, so yeah.
That might have been. Is this what? Okay. All right.
Let's get another question. You got the timing wrong.
Okay.
Are you not enjoying yourself? Are you done? Are you finished?
I'm fucking sweating. But I can take another question. Have we lost the guy? Alan, come on.
The silent disco here is one of the best features of any UK festival. How did it come to its current format with the 4 channels and you keep the headphones all weekend? Did that come from the festival or from Silent Disco King, or like how did that develop?
I think it's kind of developed over the years. I actually, a little podcast secret is I actually really hate the silent disco.
I told you, he's a wrong'un.
So one day I'm going to write like an academic paper about silent discos, and it basically, because what happens is he puts on Rage Against the Machine, I put on like What's My Age Again, then eventually someone puts on Mr. Brightside and they've won. So basically you converge on the lowest common denominator song, which is like the worst song.
It's in the end, not the
How many times did you hear Mr. Brightside last night? I didn't go to the silent disco. Was it on? Evanescence, right. You proved my point. But over the years, it's been quite an organic thing. So we've tried to mix the genres up a bit because of that, what I just said, and tried to have different things and different competing DJs. And having it on 2 stages mean you can be a bit wider. Because it's weird, because even at our tangent, but certainly here, if you've been listening to like hardcore all day in the cave, you don't actually want to go to silent disco and listen to hardcore. You want to listen to like Britney Spears. And like everyone's had fun, and yeah, so it's been a developing thing over the years, and it's different every year. Like this year is different to last year, and I watched the excerpts do the live thing on Wednesday. I missed Thurl Collins. I've seen Thurl Collins a few times over the years, but yeah, it's a developing thing. So we don't have a plan. I don't know where it will go next year.
Also, and can you imagine a James Scarlett silent disco? It'd be fucking suicidal. Yeah. 24 minutes of toad liquor. Okay.
Yeah, okay.
Listen, first off, thank you so much to everybody who's came here. This will never not be nervous. We'll never not appreciate this. James is going to tell us what you should be doing with the next 8 hours of your weekend.
Okay, yeah, so 8 hours left, right. Okay, so I am going to watch, this is what you should watch. I've written this down. Sparta, into Future of the Left, into Birds in Row, into La Dispute, into Let Live, into Alexis on Fire, which feels like that's the best run of bands ever at Trees, right? Do that. Do not miss Future of the Left, because it's going to be amazing. And do not miss Alexis on Fire, because we spent about 10 years trying to book them and lots of money, and it's going to be so good. It's a really weird job. Me and you were planning for the podcast earlier on, and we were sat on a picnic bench cowering in the shade right up at the barn. And this guy came and stood next to us, and I was like, I think that's Alexis on Fire. And I was like Googling Dallas Green, and I was saying to Gav, that's Dallas Green. He's like stood next to us. It's exciting. It's fucking Alexis on Fire. And then, this is the important bit, Gav. So, it's Saturday night. I know you like an early to bed on a Saturday sometimes.
Most nights.
But we don't do early to bed. We have a late night team, and I think you are going to come in it this year, right? We're gonna stay up. We're gonna meet at 11 p.m. when Alexis are finished. I would like you, in front of everyone, to commit to a bedtime, which is your absolute earliest.
So I tried to go for
What
2.
is the earliest time?
I thought 2 would be like, and he's like, that's in the grey area. We need to get further on 2. I was like, fucking 2. I'm never making 2. I'll get to midnight. So I'll aim for 2. I'll try my best. I thought you were going to say the important bit. Simon asked for one thing for you.
Okay. I'm not good at these bits, though.
Hey, I tell you what, he's fucking useless. And
Listen.
Pod 10, buy your tickets for 2,000 Trees for next year. 2,000 tickets already gone. Get yourself back here. Pod 10, get it going.
So basically, there is only people here or listening to the podcast get to know this. There is a discount code of Pod 10, which gives you another 10%. So we sold 2,000 tickets already for next year. So please buy a ticket.
And on that note, thank you so much, guys.